To the Shine the Way podcast. Tonight I am joined by Victor Williams, the owner and coach of Victor Williams Basketball Academy. Coach Williams is the founder, owner, and coach since 2005. He grew up in KCK, went to Wyandotte High School. He played 1 year at Illinois State, where he started and was the top freshman in the Missouri Valley Conference. Then he transferred over to Oklahoma State to play for Eddie Sutton for 3 years. He averaged 14 points and shot 41% from the field. Some of his awards were he's the Dorena Award winner here in KC, which is the top high school athlete. He was the Kansas State Tournament MVP in 1998, Big 12 All Newcomer Team in 2001, second team All Big 12 in 2003, and a multi-time Big 12 Player of the Week. He's married to Kamita and has 2 kids. Welcome, Coach.
How you doing? How you doing, man? Look like you got it all good. You like you all got it all good right now.
I'm trying.
Like it.
Well, I'm glad we were able to make this happen. I'm glad you responded to my DM on Instagram. Then I ran into you this weekend when my daughter was playing, and you were coaching your team, and I saw
Absolutely.
you guys got the championship. So congratulations there.
Hey, I appreciate it, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Kids play hard, man. They do a good job, and yeah, I enjoy coaching them. So we had a lot of fun. They did a good job.
So let's start back as a youngster. We obviously know you're a basketball player, so we want to touch on your youth basketball experience. But along with that, what other sports did you play growing up?
So I got into sports. I started playing baseball. I had a friend of mine who was that was a really close friend of mine in the fourth grade. His name was Frankie Dominguez, and his name was Frank Dominguez, and and we became really good friends. We spent a lot of time together. His dad was a really, really, really high level teacher of the game when it came to baseball. So he just showed me a lot of nuances. He treated me like one of his sons. He really did. That's when I got introduced to sports. He's the one who really introduced me to sports, and so I started playing baseball and became pretty decent at it. And he kind of just unpacked a lot of competitive fire inside of me.
So with baseball, were you also still playing basketball at the time, or did you have to transition to the basketball player?
I really didn't play basketball. I was really I was a baseball player. I was just, I was around Frankie a lot at an early age, and so that's when I really started playing. I mean, play baseball, and then I just started to kind of unpack lot of other areas. And basketball was something that in the inner city everybody did. Whether they were really good or not, you could just go to any park and play basketball. Um, so a lot of my friends we just kind of started playing basketball because that was like the thing to do in the city, and I started to kind of fall in love with that sport also.
Were you pretty natural at obviously you're a good athlete, so you're going to be good at whatever you put your mind to, but was basketball a natural sport for you?
I wouldn't consider it being natural. I mean, I was a small guy. I was 5'9". Wasn't very athletic when it came to playing above the rim. I wouldn't say my dimensions or basketball prototype of short arms, and I think it's something I had to work really hard at. I'll be honest with you, I had to work really, really hard at, and I just enjoyed the process of working hard.
So by the time you got into high school, obviously things had taken off for you, ending your high school career as the Kansas State MVP. And did you solely focus in high school on basketball, or did you continue to play baseball all through high school as well?
Well, I played my freshman year. I kind of played all three. I played baseball, I played football, and I played basketball. So I kind of, my passion was deep rooted in basketball. I just really found by the time I got to high school, I was really found this deep passion for the details of basketball. So it was something that I could do by myself. I'm a loud guy, and I was even a loud kid, but I'm a loner at heart. Like I am. I got a lot of peace that I find in just being by myself. And basketball is the one sport that you can do by yourself. You know what I mean? You don't need like a lot of people around. You can work at the game just by yourself. And in football and baseball, you kind of needed, people. You needed a pitcher. Football, you needed a receiver. You needed a quarterback. And so I think with basketball was something that I just found a lot of peace in and playing in it. And by the time I got to high school, it was something that I really wanted to do. And I think my freshman year, I kind of just half did everything else. You know what I mean? Like I did it just because my friends was doing it. And my high school coach named Wayne Van Dyne, who became a father figure to me. You know, came. I was speaking to him just about improving my basketball skills, and he just told me like, hey man, if you're not going to give 100% effort in football or baseball, then it's something you probably not need to do. Like if it's not something that you're serious about and you really want to spend the time working on it, then it's something that you probably shouldn't do. And so after my freshman year, I solely concentrate on basketball.
So you won the Dorena Award.
Hmm.
What I didn't grow up in the Kansas City area. It's something that I follow a little bit now since I've got kids in this arena, and I know a lot of kids and that are up for it and different things like that. But can you talk about what it's like to win that award, being a kid from the KC area, like how special that is?
You know, it's a special award in the sense of, only one person can win it. In the whole metro area, and Jerron won it, who was the number one player in the country. He won it 3 years in a row, and I shared it with him that last year. So from that perspective, it was very special, for myself. But I looked at, Jerron was easily the best player in the city at that time. There was no debate about that. So in order for me to share the reward with Jerron, it had to be more about my team. I had a really good team, and had a really good coaching staff. My mentor at the time and still is David Hayden. Um, really helped me, really pushed me to be the best version of myself that I can be. My mom, my sister, So for me, I always looked at that award for myself as something that was really special for all my family and all my teammates that really helped me, because it wasn't about me being the individual best player in Kansas City at the time. We all knew who that was, um, but my teammate propelled me to win the award, and I'm forever grateful for that experience.
So coming out of high school, you say you're an undersized guard, athletic, but not insanely athletic compared to some of the people that make the journey into college sports.
Absolutely.
Were you under recruited because of that?
No, I mean, I thought my feet was exactly where they were supposed to be. I mean, I thought that I worked really hard at it. I was a really really good player. I tried hard at everything that I did, but for me to have an opportunity to play in college is something that I wanted to experience. I thought that the level of play at the time out of my freshman year was probably the level that I was at that time.
Yeah. So then you make the transition over to play for Coach Sutton. What was that like?
Oh, it was a jump in every way you can you could imagine. I mean, you go from the Missouri Valley to the Big 12 is a huge jump. I played for a great coach at Illinois State, who was a great, great, great coach. But when I left there, I went to play for Eddie Sutton, who was a household name at the time and still is, and a legend, and one of the best coaches of all time. And so um, the expectations was different. The players around me was better and good, just it was just a different game that I had to get adjusted to.
So taking all of those, you mentioned you played for a couple of really good college coaches. You had some Frank Dominguez as a youth baseball coach. You had your coach Wayne there in high school, and I think you mentioned your mentor is David.
David Hayden, yes, sir.
Yep. So when you look back at all of those guys, do you take some of that in today's environment when you're coaching? You obviously you're true to who you are. You got to be
Absolutely.
Victor Williams, right? But
Absolutely.
did you take some of those from each of those guys and say, "Hey, I'm going
Oh,
to take this, 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 and this, and mold it into me and my program"?
absolutely, absolutely. I think I would be remiss if I didn't do that. They were all the guys you just named was that special. They were needle movers in the sense of being able to teach me a lot of detailed things, not only in sport, but just about life in general, how to carry yourself, how to position yourself to be the best version of yourself, and they all held me accountable when I didn't do so. So I just respect people that like to fire up on you and expect great things from you. So they hold you accountable to that. And that's something that I take pride in, even in my teaching, is I love you hard, but at the same time, I want to push you to the greatest version of yourself. And sometimes you gotta pull and tug a little bit and make you a little uncomfortable for that to happen. But I take a lot of pride in the end game, and the end game gives you the best chance to be successful if you're the hardest worker in the gym. And that's what I want to teach anybody that I come in contact with.
So, did you know you were going to always end up being a coach, or is that something that you had to kind of work your way into? And then also, why do you coach?
I didn't know. You know, I had an experience with Coach Sutton. He brought me to his office one day, and he was always real complimentary of my leadership and my ability to lead others and to challenge others, but at the same time, create a comfort level there. And so he said, Vic, man, when you get done playing basketball and you start playing basketball, I think you're gonna be a heck of a coach. And when he said it at the time, I'm just like every other player in America. I'm thinking I'm going to the NBA. So it's like, okay, coach, whenever that happens, right? But right now, I'm one of the league, right? But yeah, my career path wasn't the NBA. It was doing exactly what Coach Sutton said he thought I would be good at, and it's something that I'm very passionate about doing.
So, what style of basketball does Victor Williams like to play? Like, what are the core principles that you teach at VWBA?
My core principles is mental, physical toughness, and being accountable for being an everyday person. I think if you could combine those things, it gives you the best chance to be successful. I don't really have a philosophy. I don't have a way I play. I mean, I play accordingly to my best players, right? Strengths, and whatever their strengths are, I try to adapt to them. But the non-negotiable is how hard you play, right? How accountable you are to yourself and your teammates, and just being an everyday person. And so that's when I can adapt when I have that. Like if you allow me to challenge you to be an everyday person and be accountable for you and your teammates, then there's some negotiating power you have with me and me allowing you to play the way you want to play. But the head get cut off the snake if you're not a hard worker. If you don't want to come and be an everyday person, if I don't see you being a needle mover with your teammates, therefore then that negotiating power goes right out the window. So it depends on the player for how I coach, when I coach, but the non-negotiable is how hard you play and being accountable to self and teammates.
Well, I can attest to at least one of the players that I know that's played for you. I've been able to watch and actually play against in an old man run, Reese Riedel. Um, the one thing I enjoy about watching him play is he plays hard.
He plays
Um,
hard.
and
Yeah.
I love that when you're the best player on the team and you play the hardest,
Yeah.
that's a good sign for your team.
That is a great sign. And I mean, that is as high of a high that you can have as a coach when your best player is your hardest worker. Like that just brings you to the gym every day happy. And I've had teams to where my best player is my hardest worker, and I've had teams where my my best player is not my hardest worker. And when you have that element, it just doesn't allow you to get the best out of your team when your best player is not your harder worker. So speaking for Reese, I've never seen Reese have a bad practice. Never. I've seen him have bad games, right? Which we all do. I never seen him had a bad practice because the way he approaches competition. And my biggest saying is, sport is a competition before it's a skills event. You can control how you compete. Sometimes you just can't control the skills. The skills just sometimes, man, I don't worked on that same move 100 times and I cannot make that shot today. Now, if you're competitive, you latch on to other ways to win and other ways to compete and other ways to motivate your teammates. And that's who Reese Riddle is, and Reese Riddle is, and I miss his name up all the time. It's one of the two.
Just
But
call him Reese.
he's one of those guys that I've coached it. I really enjoyed it. I hate to see him leave.
Yeah, everything you have said there is something that I've preached to my 3 kids. I have 2 boys and a girl,
Absolutely.
and then I also coach middle school basketball, and I was fortunate this last 2 years to coach my son and a couple of
Yeah.
his buddies,
Yeah.
and I've always told them, "Effort's non-negotiable.
Effort's non-negotiable.
You're gonna play with effort. We're gonna
Absolutely.
compete. You may not make 3." I mean, we had some games like, the second to last game, they sat in a zone, and we went 5 for 20 from 3, but our effort propelled us to a big win because we
Absolutely.
outworked them still. We found, like you said, shots aren't going today. We got to find another way. So we
Absolutely.
ratcheted up the defense, and uh, and so I love hearing that. And that's the one thing I've always heard about your program is you're in for it for 40 minutes. You're in
Absolutely.
for it for 40 minutes. They're coming, and they're going to get up in your business, and they're going to make life uncomfortable. And if you can't handle it, then it's going to run away, and they're going to blow you out. If you can handle it, then it's going to be a dogfight. But they're going to be in
Absolutely.
it for 40 minutes. So
Absolutely. Absolutely.
that's awesome to hear. With you being an AAU coach, did you have one growing up? Did you play for a club and
Yeah.
do the AAU circuit?
Yes, sir. Every summer I play for AAU team. Yes, sir.
So how, as an AAU coach, how do you work and try to help kids? Like I always hear that's where they get their scholarship
Mm,
is on the circuit.
mm.
And how do you help them also have a successful high school career and mold the two together?
Again, I mean, I think fundamentals, right? Can you dribble, pass, and shoot at a high level? Do you work hard, right? In character, are you a work harder? Are you a hard worker in character? Like when people look at you, do they say, "Man, that's a hard worker"? Those are people that can have success with me and play for me, and those are people who have success in high school. You know what I'm saying? So the relationship works because I'm not asking them to do anything besides be a winner, you know, and that's being a good teammate every day, being a everyday guy, practice hard, build good habits, doing the things that you need to do in school. So I don't have bad relationships with high school coaches because I want to build a winner and I want to build a very disciplined person. So there's nothing that I'm trying to gain on my side that you're not trying to gain on your side. We all want winners. And so there's no I've never had a friction between me and a high school coach. Like, and I do it the way coaches have taught me. And I think high school coaches appreciate that about me.
With in the AAU circuit, and I'm not sure like the levels that you get into where you play for championships and different things. And you got some tough games coming up. How do you prepare your teams to go up against some of the other really good ones across the nation? That maybe you got a team that's a little less known here out of Kansas City, and you're going to get against the team that's got some of the 5-star blue chip guys. How do you prepare them for that challenge? And then how do you prepare them if you know you make it to a championship and it doesn't go your way?
Well, what I try to do is I try to build self confidence. And I think it's a tricky situation because a lot of people think people are confident that has exterior things that they see. You know what I mean? Oh man, he's shooting or he didn't. But for me, your confidence shows up when everything goes bad. Right? Like I'm not shooting it well, or we're not playing well, we're not doing this. Whenever you prepare a kid to have interior confidence in himself, he's or she is ready for any situation. They don't look across the board and say, "Oh, that's such and such." I don't. They have interior confidence. They know that they can play really well when things go bad. So they're not shooken up at all because they have this person who's highly ranked on the other side of them. It's like this is about what I do, how I do, and keeping the main thing, right? And that's how I prepare kids. It's by building a lot of interior confidence. And your interior confidence comes from how you deal with adversity, right? Like how you deal when you're uncomfortable. And so my practices, games, those types of situations, I try to balloon a maybe a small situation and make it uncomfortable for them, right?
Hmm.
And then that builds competitive character over time because they overcome it, right? And and so that's kind of just what I do. So when we get in those big games, like we don't look at them as big games. Like our practices are a lot harder. So we just look at them as an opportunity for us to be the best version of ourselves. And so that's all we concentrate on. Like we don't, I don't allow them to worry about things that they can't control.
Well, that I like hearing that because me and my assistant coach, we told our team this year, if our practices are harder than our games, then we're going to have a good season. And
Absolutely.
they were hard. Like we pushed these
Absolutely.
eighth graders pretty hard, and
Absolutely.
they bought into it.
Absolutely.
So I can just send them that clip. Coach Vic says the same thing.
Absolutely. Let's
Coach
do
Vic says the same
it.
thing. It
For
works.
sure.
So, uh, if you had your five guys, any five guys you wanted, like Vic Williams guys, hardworking guys, what style of basketball would you choose to play? What was the style you like to play?
I like to play a man to man. If we could play man to man, we like to mix in a little trapping and getting teams outside of their comfort zone. Um, and and just make them really make teams uncomfortable there. And offensively, I just like things to be free flowing, right? I like to give them structure, but not too much structure where they become robotic and afraid. So I like to kind of give them some 5-out situations, passing and moving, put them in ball screens and just kind of allow them just to move the ball, right? And I tell kids all the time, like, the best thing that you can learn to do as a basketball player is attack closeouts. You know what I mean? And especially in the half court basketball, you got to catch and shoot, you got to catch and pass, or you got to catch and go. You know what I mean? And if you can learn that thought process, you're going to be a successful player because in rotation, the defense, when the ball moves, the defense is continuing to rotate. So there's no ability to catch up with the decision, with the instinctive play if you keep the ball moving and you just not over dribbling. So, I want them to learn to really attack closeouts. The ball gets to you, now you got to make a quick decision, right? And and don't be afraid to get the ball up. You know what I mean? That's the thing. Like, hey, you don't got it. That's okay. Give it up. You got to figure it out. And so yeah, I just like free flowing offensively, hard playing guys defensively. So yeah, that's what kind of my philosophy.
Do you watch how the NBA game has evolved, and then also even college, and try to pick some of those things that they're doing and bring them back down? Maybe not to your younger ages necessarily, but definitely to some of your high school high level teams. Do you try to bring it if you see the trend of basketball is changing from one way to the other? Um, do you try to bring some of that into your teaching?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the game has become positionless. You know what I mean? You got to play positionless basketball. The fours and the fives got to be able to step out and shoot the ball. Everybody got to be able to knock down open shots. Um, and what I try to tell people, American basketball has lost its way in the fact that we've overvalued dribbling. Like, we got every video you see is a dribbling video. It's not a passing video. It's not man, that guy made the right pass that led to that assist, right? It's none of that anymore. Nobody speaks on how the game is really supposed to be free flowing and the ball movement and cutting and things like that. So because of that, I think we've lost our way in the European basketball. That's what they teach at an early age. They teach dribbling as something that you do for purpose. They don't teach it just to be dribbling. Like they teach it for purpose. And they teach passing and shooting and cutting and movement. And so if you look at some of the best basketball players in today's games, a lot of them, man, got a lot of European experience and grew up there and grew up outside of the American basketball because they just have free flowing games. So again, yes, I try to, and I think that's the way college basketball is now. Like, if you look at Illinois play, you look at a lot of these players play, like you don't know who the four man is. You don't know who the five. Like everybody's moving and cutting and moving the basketball, and it's just that's how they create offense. So yeah, man, I just try to teach the game and make it positionless and let everybody have fun, making other people have fun.
So you seem like a pretty natural leader when I was watching you play at Oklahoma State and just growing up.
Mhm.
On your teams, how do you determine, or do you let the players determine who's going to be the leader of your team? Because it doesn't always end up being the best player. Sometimes the best player is not the leader, right? So do you do you spot a kid and try to push them, or do you just kind of let that naturally happen?
Sometimes I think leadership is organic, man. I think people that understand leadership are not afraid to be out front. So it kind of just happens organically for me. Like I never be like, hey, I want you to be my leader, you know. Now, of course, you want your best player to be your leader. And if that happens, great, perfect. You in a great situation, right? But sometimes that's like you said, that's not the case. And you gotta allow who is not afraid to be out front to be the leader. So yeah, I just push whoever that person is because I think it's a hard job. Like no, it's a hard job. Like it's not fun. Leadership is not fun, and it's hard. It's really hard, and you got to be a special kind of person to take on that role.
As a point guard, the common phrase you hear is a coach on the floor. Is that something? Did Coach Sutton give you the reins to run the show when you were at Oklahoma State, or did he do a lot of it, or did you guys work together when, hey, Coach, I'm seeing this? Did he give you some flexibility?
Yeah, I think he did. I mean, Coach was what Coach Sutton per se. I mean, going back to my high school coach. My high school coach was a high level coach, and he taught me leadership all the time. Like I was like, Coach, I wanted. He said, well, Vic, you the point guard. That's your job. So he would kind of teach me that it's my job to make sure it goes from him to the floor. So that's kind of where I learned the real responsibility of being a point guard is there. And then when I got to Coach Sutton, there was things that like he wanted to do and things like that. I had to follow those directions. But as I've gotten older and showed that I could take care of the ball a little bit better, he gave me more rope. Uh, he never gave me enough rope where I would lose the game. That's for sure.
So just out of curiosity, you got two scenarios here. Curious which one you'd choose. You can go for 25 points, 10 assists, double-double, or you can go for 12 points, 12 assists, 12 steals. You going for the triple-double or the double-double?
Triple-double all day. That's not non-negotiable. Triple-double all day.
Yeah.
Okay, and I got one for you, though. You got to tell me, when I got the triple-double, did we win?
Well, of course.
Okay, so we won both games.
Yeah, you're winning both games because if you're getting 12 steals.
Yeah, it'd be hard to lose. You're right about that.
That other point.
Yeah, triple-double all day, non-negotiable. Yeah, triple-double all day, non-negotiable.
Yeah, if you're getting those 12 steals and you have 12 assists,
we should win that game, right?
Somebody's scoring, and they can't even get it across half court.
Absolutely, yeah. So, yeah, we should win that game. You're right about that.
Absolutely. All right. Well, we're going to jump into some quick hitters, but usually they end up taking quite a bit just because I drag it out because this is some really interesting stuff. But
I'm good. I got time. I'm good.
All right. The all-time Victor Williams coach starting five.
That played for me?
Yep.
Ooh, you gonna do that to me?
Yeah.
Man.
So I've caveated it a little bit in the past. A couple of my other basketball coaches, they say they need they run a rotation of 7 or 8, so they can 5 starters, 3 bench. You can go a little deeper.
Shoot, you cold.
But we're not playing 10.
Man,
10's too many. We're playing 7 or 8.
Playing 7 or 8. All right. Okay. Let me start out by apologizing to everybody.
Yes.
That's gonna give you trouble. No, just
okay. So
okay. You got Ishmael Wainwright.
Ooh, yeah.
You got Ishmael Wainwright. I mean, he's definitely one of my starting 5. I got Cody Riley. He played at UCLA. I got him. I need a big, so I got to go with Yor Nay. Big Yor. He played at Oklahoma State. He was one of the best shot blockers that Oklahoma State had. So I got to go with Yor. So that's 3, right? Martez Harrison is elite as it gets. He could play the point. He could play off the ball. He was an All-American at UMKC. He was a dog. Like he was just a difference maker on a basketball court. AAU, man, it wasn't nobody stopping Tez. Like He was that guy. Clayton Custer. Clayton Custer played at Iowa State, transferred to Loyola, went to a Final Four. Elite, just as elite as it gets. Uh, Keaton Wagler, of course.
Yeah,
I mean,
he's
you just,
exploded right now. I mean,
that says what it says.
yep.
He's uh he's he's as elite as it gets too. Um, freshman, he already made it on the board. He's only a freshman, but he's very high level. So is that 5? Where am I at?
That's 6.
That's 6.
Yep.
Okay.
You may only run a 6-man rotation with that crew. I'm not gonna
Yeah,
lie. I don't
that's
know
gonna
who
be
you're
hard. That's
taking
gonna be
over
hard. I need another big. So let's go with Christian Bishop. Christian Bishop played at Creighton and then also played at Texas. So yeah, man, I take that squad and we can go just about anywhere and win some games.
That's a good one. And as you were talking, you mentioned you needed a couple of bigs, and so before we get to the other quick hitters, you mentioned positionless basketball. How do you utilize some of the bigs? You mentioned the young man that went to Oklahoma State as a shot blocker. How do you use in today's game when you have a big that maybe isn't as offensively inclined, but how do you still incorporate them into the offense? Because I remember, back in the day, uh, I know him as Big Country. You throw him the ball and he'd
Yeah,
score down the post. He had the
right.
bigs that would back to the basket guys. You don't see that very often anymore. So how do you incorporate those bigs that can't necessarily step out and shoot the three? They're more rim runners.
Well, I think you got to play him to his strength. At the end of the day, as many layups that I can get gives me the best chance to win. So you can be as skilled as you want to. You're shooting a lot of threes and you stand. See, a lot of basketball players, because the game has pushed them out a little bit and made them identify some other areas as far as spacing. Now that's all they want to do, right? So now they don't want to go down and get the 12 to 14 points that God just gave you because you're bigger than everybody. So let's go get those, right? Let's go get those. And so someone who doesn't have the ability to space the floor, that's a big guy. We still got to teach him how to duck in hard, get dunks, score in the post, and just put your will on the game, right? Just show the people that your will is much stronger than anybody and just dominate there. And so it's still a place for that person. And I think if you got a winning team, then you have somebody like that on your team, because there's going to be nights to where the ball is just not dropping from 3. And you got to get some duck ins and some dunks and some easy buckets. So yeah, I think that the game have overvalued the spacing of the 4 and the 5. I do. I do think there's some value there. You need it, but I think they've gotten to the point to where they're passing up post up opportunities to get threes. And I just think that there's still space for it. And if you are a winning coach, then you got somebody on your team that gets you points in that paint. You got to have somebody on your team that's getting you points in the paint if you're going to be winning game in and game out.
Yeah, I was watching a high school game early this season, and the team, they're about 6'1" to 6'4", and they were struggling to score. They pretty much are drive and kick, shoot threes.
Mm-hmm.
And a kid I was there to watch, he's 6'4", not a post player, but he was guarded by 5'8",
Mm-hmm.
and he never went closer to the rim than 23 feet, and it drove me nuts. And so I was texting with his dad, who's a buddy, and I'm like, "Why didn't he go post up?" He's like, "That's Coach won't want him." And I'm like, "Man, that's 6 easy points, and that makes them adjust. You go get the easy ones.
Right.
You guys were only scoring about 40 points that night. You were struggling. Take that
Absolutely.
6.
Yeah.
So I like that philosophy.
Yeah, you gotta identify yourself at the basket. I mean, I even tell my guards that. You start out the game shooting a bunch of threes and tough twos. You're playing a harder game at that point. Like one night you're going to be on and it's going to look great, but the other 4 nights, them shots are not going to be great shots. But if you establish yourself at the rim, driving and getting layups and getting fouled, now over time the defense is expecting you to get to the rim, and those become easier shots. But if you just just standing out there because you want to stand out there and show your skill set and not get to the rim and get easy buckets. That's why the free throw game is down now. People don't shoot as many free throws as they used to because they shooting a lot of tough shots. And so I tell a lot of guys, I say, man, look, you got to establish yourself at the rim. Play off 2 feet, be at the rim. And over time, people are going to respect your ability to be there. And that's going to open up free throw line pull-ups. That'll open up open threes because people got to close out shorter. You know what I mean? Because they're expecting you to drive. And so, yeah, I just think that they completely took away from what they look at as basketball. They don't even value like the post up or the layup anymore. It's like shoot threes and you know what I mean, and look fancy for no reason.
Yeah, being a small guy myself, I'm always a big fan. If you as a small guard can go in amongst the trees and finish at the rim, that's a little deflating for that shot blocker. That that
Absolutely.
5'9", 5'10" guy just came at me and I couldn't do anything about it.
And pretty
And
soon what's going to happen is you don't put pressure on the rim. So now you're going to draw that shot blocker early and you're going to be dumping it to his big and you're going to get dunks and layups because you're at the rim. Like, so it works twofold. It's going to work for you for getting to the cup, but it's also going to work for your teammates because of rotation. And now they got to come. Now the helper got to come and take away the big. Now you kicking it out for open threes. You know what I mean? So it's so much things that you gain from just getting to the basket. Like,
yeah.
you know what I mean? Just get to the basket. You can get so many options if you can do that.
All right, back to the quick hitters. The next one, your all-time 5 that you had to coach against.
Ooh, okay. I got some hitters on it. Jason Tatum being one. Yeah, I knew he was gonna be a dude when he was real. Julius Randle, Jabari Parker. Let's name some Kansas City guys that I had to coach against. And I knew that was dogs. That I had to coach against. Mark Mitchell.
Yeah, in Missouri.
Mitch Blaylock. He played at Creighton.
Oh, Mitchell Ballack, yeah.
Mitchell Ballack, yeah.
Shooter.
Mitch, dog, can play. Jacob Gilliard. Willie Colley.
Oh, yeah. Willie Cauley-Stein.
Willie Cauley-Stein.
Big one.
So yeah, man, start with them. Like that's that's pretty good group right there. I had some long nights trying to guard them guys.
Man, you put together a pretty good unit on your own. You put those first 3 guys out there. That's going to be pretty tough for your team to beat that team.
Ah, man, I don't want to. Yeah, hey, man, we trapping and fouling and everything else. So I don't know. Yeah, we gonna figure it out. We gonna try to get it done. But
when healthy, Tatum's a problem.
Oh yeah. A healthy Tatum's a problem, and I knew that when he was in the 6th grade. 6th grade is actually because in the 6th grade we used to play against him, but my team was so good. His dad was coaching him. My team was so good, we would beat him 25, 30 points. Like we were that good. But my assistant coach, whose name is Keenan Weir, at the time, he looked at me. I swear, he was like, "Bro, that dude right there gonna be a monster. Like he gonna be cold." Like this is before we knew who Tatum is, right? Who Jason Tatum is. A year or 2 later, he shot up to be like 6'5", 7th, 8th grader, like, and it was just no stopping. We went from beating him by 25 to losing by 25. Like he was that dude. And by the time he got to high school, it was just, you knew he was a generational dude. So it was, but yeah, I always tell Keenan, I remember you called that one in the 6th grade. Even when we were winning, he was like, "Nah, that dude right there, he gonna be cold." So he knew it early.
There's certain players when you watch him, you're like, okay, yeah,
that's a guy.
Get him while we can.
Yeah, that is
very long.
Nah, this ain't gonna last long. Exactly, and he was that guy for sure.
So you played some good ones growing up in high school and also in college. So your top 5 people you had to try to guard and play against.
Okay, that Carmelo Anthony. He put me out. He sent me home. So Carmelo, Kurt Heinrich, was Nick Collis. TJ Ford was a monster. I don't know if you're gonna remember this one, but he was a beast. Marcus Fizer. You remember Marcus Fizer, Iowa State?
Iowa State? Oh yeah. He was big, strong.
Get what he want. Like
it was a problem.
Yeah, him. I had some. Who else is probably so? Hollis Price, Quantus White, them was guys.
Man, you're talking some guards back in the day.
Yeah,
You got some
exactly. So
good.
so the Big 12 was loaded with guards, man.
Mhm.
It was a guards league at the time for sure.
Real quickly, I grew up. I'm a K State fan, so I'm very well versed in the how good Kirk Heinrich and Nick Collison were.
Absolutely.
Specifically, Kirk Heinrich. How athletic was he, and how tough was he? Got because he seems like one of those players that you watch him play, you don't his athleticism doesn't jump off the table, right? But you
So
know
my
he is.
Yeah, so my Kurt Heinrich story starts before college. So I was because Kurt Heinrich's a year younger than me. So we played in an AAU tournament out at Rockhurst College in Kansas City, and our team was really good. We were really good. We had some really good players, and we played them like at 10 o'clock in the morning game. It was a tournament. The first time I ever heard the name Kurt Heinrich, but it had him, Nick. It had a bunch of Iowa boys on it, and they come in the gym. We warming up. My team really. I mean, we had a really good team, and then we warming up, and they come in, they warming up. And I'm looking down there like, man, we about to kill these guys, man. We really about to play these guys, like. And the ball goes up, and Kurt is running by me like I'm standing still. I'm like, damn. I didn't have the right approach to him. Like it was like seriously, like this dude was good. And they end up beating us at the end of the game. And Nick was really good. And then my mentor, whose name was David Hayden, I never forget this. We walking out the door, and you could tell he was really upset with me, like just the way I played and how Kurt kicked my ass the whole game because I wasn't, he just a dude. And we get in the car. He said, "You need to stop looking on the other end of the floor. You know who that guy is? That's Kurt Heinrich. KU is recruiting him." Just start going off and on. Like he was just. But anyway, as you said, he's a very unassuming guy. He has speed when he need to use speed. Got pace when he needs to use pace. And as a defender, you can never catch up with which one he was using. You know what I mean? And he was just elite 3-point shooter, passer, can score in the mid, and he was just a winner, bro. Like Kurt is one of those guys for me. Like I'm one of the guys that's like, man, that dude. I be like, man, that dude ain't good. Like I'm like the hater guy. Like ain't nobody good.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's just the little man syndrome in me. Like man, he ain't good. But Kurt, he got my respect. Yeah, he got my respect.
Yeah, I've talked to a number of coaches, and the next question is going to be an Oklahoma State one for you. But I asked them, they're KU fans, so I'll be like, hey, what's your all-time? And he's the one guy that I think gets left off more than I
Yeah,
think he should. Like
absolutely.
nobody
He
gives
should.
him the
Yeah,
love.
I
Like
agree with that
if you
totally.
look at
I
what he
agree with
did
that.
at KU, and then also his success in the league, he's pretty good.
He's a dude. He's a dude. And I agree with you wholeheartedly. Like they leave him off way too much. They need to go watch some film for sure.
All right, your all-time Oklahoma State starting five.
Okay. That won't be too hard. I don't think that'd be Desmond Mason. Desmond
Might be my
Mason.
all-time favorite.
Yeah,
Next to you.
I appreciate you, brother. Desmond Mason was a monster. He was the definition of an everyday guy. I never seen him have a bad practice. I mean, he was the hardest dude playing in practice. He'll play 40 minutes, and then we have practice the next day. He's still playing hard. I mean, it was some adrenaline that was moving through Des that was like weird. Like he was just that guy. I mean, you got to go with Big Country, right? Got to go with Big Country. Big Country he's a legend. You got to go with got to go with some Cade Cunningham, right? Cade Cunningham is a monster. My favorite teammate, and I think he just had some injuries that kind of took him away. But he was a 13-year vet if he didn't get hurt, and that's Maurice Baker. You know what I mean? Maurice Baker, man, he was a monster. Tony Allen, which was another one of my teammates, he was a beast. Yeah, man. So like those guys will probably be who I would just kind of name that jumps off at me early for sure.
So you named a couple of guys. I want a couple further questions on. One, Cade Cunningham. Do you think he has a shot at the MVP this year?
I think he should have one. I think he's just he's a winner, man. I mean, I've watched him in college and watch him in the league. He just got the sauce, man. He can play on the ball, he can play off the ball. He's a type that you can give 6 shots to, and he'll have just as much impact of a game if you gave him 20 shots. Like he just like knows how to win, and you can tell he hates to lose. And yeah, so do we got a shot? Yeah, I think if Detroit keep doing what they're doing, I think he got a shot to win it for sure.
And then, did you expect the success defensively from Tony Allen that he had in the league?
No, I didn't expect Kobe to say he the best dude that ever guarded him. You know what I mean? Like I didn't know that was going to happen. I was his team. I was Tony Allen's teammate when he was I mean, he was my roommate. So coach, when we brought him in from a junior college, coach met with me and was like, "Hey man, I'm gonna move Tony Allen in with you. You know, I want y'all to be roommates." So he was my roommate. I remember Tony Allen's first day at our facility. He came in on a Sunday. We were supposed to actually be there on that Saturday, but Tony came in on a Sunday, and we were playing pickup. And he walks through the door, and he got this long white T-shirt on with like these jeans, you know, real long white T-shirt. He looked like he just, I don't know what he looked like. He wasn't ready for basketball. Let's just put it like that. And I remember he had half of his hair braided, and the other half was kind of just up. He wasn't prepared to leave that day. It looked like. But anyway, he shows up at the gym and he's over there and he's sitting down. And I'm like, man, who's this dude who's walking to our gym like that? I thought he was just a dude that's coming here just. And it was like, man, that's Tony Allen. So he watches us. It's the first day I ever met him, and he's watching our first game. Boom, boom. And he decides, all right, I'm gonna play. Right. So he's asking some people for some shoes, and our managers was there. They went to go find him some shoes. He puts the shoes on, and he, you know, he had some money in his pocket. I never forget he had his money in his pocket, and he just pulled out this money in his pocket and he gave it to one of our managers named Randy. Randy, I still think works for him. He's like one of his really good friends. And he just trusted Randy for some reason. He never met Randy a day in his life. He just trusted Randy. Randy's a good dude though. But anyway, he gets on the court and he starts to play, and he just has this competitive juice about him, bro. And because we brung back all our starters before Tony gets there. Like we bring back everybody. Like Tony just an addition to what we're doing. And so I remember I look around, I'm like, I don't know who ain't gonna start, bro. But Tony's starting. Like you just knew. Like I'm looking around like, hey, I don't know who go. But hey, this dude is going to start. And he was my roommate. He was good. He was competitive. And yeah, man, he's a dude, man. So it didn't surprise me that he had this success. But I think he's a chameleon in the sense of whatever the team need, whatever role you needed me to play, I'm going to master that role. And I think the NBA is all about mastering roles, correct? And he knew, okay, I can score because you got to think about it, he was all Big 12 and like all American that year. Like he can score, but he knew like being a high level defender will keep him in the league. And he did a great job of just mastering that and just did whatever he had to do. And yeah, it's one of my guys, man. Blessings.
Yeah, I think it was a podcast Gilbert Arenas has, and he was talking about Patrick Beverly, similar thing that he was
Yeah,
averaging 30 something in
yeah,
Chicago, but he realized for me to stay in the league, I got to do what I got to do, and
absolutely,
I'm not going to score 30 in the league,
absolutely,
but I'm better scoring than 99% of America,
absolutely.
just not the league.
Just not the league, and that's okay. That's okay. Whatever I need to do to win, you know, them type of guys, man, last long in the league. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the guys that's going to go in there and just say, "Hey, I'm gonna be a one dimensional, one side of the coin type of guy." Them guys are out of the league fast. And
Yeah.
the ones that you can, you know, I think Christian Braun, from being from Kansas City, you know, he's one of those guys. He's gonna have a long career in the league because he can score like Christian Braun can score the basketball.
Mhm.
But what he's decided is, oh, you know what? I got a couple dudes on my team that are high level scorers. There's a niche for me to run the floor, defend, hit open threes, and be the best version of myself in this small niche. And he's going to have a long career because his game is versatile enough to do that. You know what I mean? Like it's just like and he has a great attitude to want to do that. And that's what I tell people all the time, man. Like, you know, Whatever if you're good enough, you're gonna be able to do whatever the team needs. If the team needs a score, for Christian, I think he can give you 18 to 20 in the league. I think he doesn't. He's that versatile of an offensive player, but the team don't need him to do that, and he's fine with that.
Yeah.
Thus, he's going to be in the league for a long time because he got that mentality.
Yeah, when you play with Murray and Jokic, fill your role, and you guys are
Play
going
your
to
role,
be
and he does it with a good attitude. A lot of people say, "Okay, I'm gonna play a role," but you don't do it with a good attitude. You don't do it like that's where you're supposed to be, right? And he mastered his role because he's done it with a great attitude, as if that's where I'm supposed to be. So, yeah, man, he's a great example from all the kids in Kansas City for sure.
Yeah. Last quick hitter, your all-time NBA starting five.
All-time NBA started five. We're gonna get through this fast because I'm pretty versed on this one. I'm going with Magic Johnson at the one. I'm going with Jordan at the two. I'm gonna go with Kobe at the three. I'm putting LeBron at the four. We small balling you. You know what I'm saying? We small balling you. I'm gonna go with LeBron at the four, and I'm gonna go with Shaq at the five. You know what I mean? And it might. No, I'm going with that. That's five. That's my five right there. I think we can dominate dude at the basket. We play off of him. 4 out, 1 in. Man, it's gonna be hard to cover us.
So one of the things when I've asked that question, a lot of people question whether you put LeBron, Jordan, and Kobe together because there's only one basketball, and I think what makes them great is I'm lukewarm on LeBron, but Kobe and Jordan will do whatever it takes. So if I don't get the ball, I'll lock down and we'll be the best defensive player on here, and I'll go get the boards.
Right. And I think Jordan and Kobe are alphas enough to where LeBron will be able to fit in what and LeBron has an intangible game to allow them to fit with those types of players because he don't want to shoot the last shot anyway, right? Yep. So you got Magic and him. The ball is going to move really fluently, and then Shaq is just dunking on everybody at the rim, and he's an enforcer. So I agree with you. I think that'd be a hard team to stop.
Well, I'm enjoying this, so I got a couple more have come to my mind. First, I've had some arguments with some young generation that I don't think they really realize how good Dennis Rodman was. Could he play in today's era and be successful?
Yeah, I think he could. I think you got guys like him that's playing that's not as good as him, but Rodman was just such a good rebounder. Like I don't think you understand how or I know you do, but I don't think the young generations understood how good of a rebounder he was and the effort defensively. Like he takes your best 3 or 4 to 5 men out of the game, and he rebounds, and he does it without scoring, and he's fine with that. So the way today's game is, you got one primary ball handler, which is probably your best player. Everybody spaces the floor off of that. And then you have a lot of pick and roll situations. So I think he can be in pick and roll, but he would be special in today's, because he doesn't need the ball. So a lot of people, I think, will get a lot easier buckets and get more opportunities because of him, because his offensive rebound. People don't it's defensive and offensive rebounding. Defensive rebounding takes a lot of effort. Don't get me wrong. But offensive rebounding, man, it takes a special kind of effort. And he was as good of an offensive rebounder as there was ever. Not just a rebounder. He was as good as an offensive rebounder. So you got so many extra possessions because of his output and how hard he played. So, yeah, he can play in any era. It don't matter.
So that leads me into another question. Jordan's Bulls with Rodman or Curry, Durant, Klay Thompson's Warriors? Who wins a 7-game series?
Jordan, Bulls. Ain't nobody beating him. And I love the Curry and the Durant and all that. I do. And it might be an unfair question because I'm an MJ fan. I'm the guy that don't miss MJ basketball at all. that team was such high level defenders, such high level defenders, and the physicality that they play with, right, doesn't allow all that moving parts that Curry and Durant moving through the lane and spacing and all of that fluidity that they play with. The physicality that the Bulls will be allowed to play with. Now, if it's this era now, you can't play that physical. So maybe you'll pick them. But if you just said you have to play in the era that Jordan and them grew up in, like it's too physical. You got Ron Harper out there. You got some dudes out there, man, that can really lock you down and physical guys. So I yeah, I think the Bulls will beat them for sure.
All right, two more. Being a small guy, one of my favorite all-time NBA players was dominant in a physical era with bigs, Allen Iverson.
Mm-hmm.
What would he be like in the free-flowing game of today?
Well, if you can touch Allen Iverson, he averaged 40. Like Allen Iverson was averaging 30 something, 40 when you can put and you got to think about it, like he's not a he don't have mass. Like he's a very slender 6'2", 6'1", 6'2" guard. So and he had to deal with all that physicality and them big dudes bumping him, and he was getting 35 a game in that. So now you're gonna let Alice Iverson move around and handle the ball and not be able to bump him and knock him off his spot. Yeah, he averaging 40, 45 in today's game. There's no physicality that's attached to today's game. Yeah, he goes crazy in today's game for sure.
My last one, and the one I'm most excited to hear about. As a ball player, were you a talker?
Oh, hey man, yeah, heck yeah, I was. Yeah, for sure. The one thing nobody has ever had to say is, I don't know what Vic's thinking.
You just
That's
let
the
it
thing.
let it go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. Yeah. Like, yeah, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but nobody has ever had to guess what I was thinking in basketball or real life. Like, I'm gonna tell you how I feel for sure.
Yep. Well, that's you come by it, and it's honesty, right? You just hey,
Absolutely.
I'm being honest, so you can
Yeah.
live with that. And if you don't like it, it's
Yeah.
the truth. It's honesty. So
Yeah. I'm a very caring person, so I want people to to care about my opinion, but I also want. I think people don't have the ability anymore to open up conversation.
hmm
And it's so much you learn through conversation and so much you learn from valuing other people's opinions, right? And I've always just, although your opinion is different from mine, I value how you feel about yours. And I want people to have that ability to be themselves and to open conversations and have debates without anger, right? And I think in our era, because there was no cell phones, there was no internet, we had to have these confrontations that wasn't really confrontations, right? Like we just competed really hard and we had confrontations and we wanted to win, but we can walk away from it, go have dinner, go have drinks together. We was fine. Today's it's like because they're not used to conversation and having someone's opinion that's opposite of theirs and be able to meet in the middle, when they get into conflictual situations like basketball, they're not good at being able to handle that. Like, and so to answer your question, yeah, I've always been a not afraid to let people know how I feel, but I also have not been afraid to have to have somebody be different from me, like in opinion and value how they feel and have understanding why they feel that way, right? And
Yep.
so, communication has always been one of my strong suits.
Yeah. No,
For sure.
that sounds good. That you're willing to give your opinion, but you're also willing to listen, and
Absolutely.
that goes a
For
long
sure.
way.
That goes along. Right, right.
Gallagher Iba, Allen Fieldhouse, which is better?
Gallagher. And I'm going to say this biasly. It's unfair, but it's biased. There is a emotional connection, I think, with the people in Oklahoma back when I grew up because there was no professional teams, nowhere in sight. You hear me? So therefore, we were the professional teams. Now, Allen Fieldhouse is a beast to go against, because I do think that there's an emotional connection to that place that's just different. But for me, I just felt I felt like I was in the league everywhere I went, because they people gravitated towards me because and that's just in my personal experience. I mean, I'm sure people will agree with me. And you might ask me that question tomorrow, and I'll say Allen Fieldhouse, because Allen Fieldhouse is a special place. But I don't know if I can go back to Gallagher if I said that any different. So I like my seats when I go back.
I figured that was the answer, but
I love Coach Self, and he gives me good seats too. But he's an Old State guy, so I don't know if I think he'd disagree with me though, but I think he will understand where I'm coming from.
About 20 years ago, he would have agreed with you, and I think
absolutely
on him now. I think
now I have no chance, no, for sure.
Yeah. Well, Coach, thank you very much. I've thoroughly enjoyed this conversation.
I appreciate you.
Before I go, I do want to plug your program, Victor Williams Basketball Academy. You can get all the information you need at vwbabasketball.com. And if you're somebody that feels like you're a dog and ready to play some D, Coach Vic's your guy.
Come on home, man. If you're this is right where you belong.
Defense, he may not be your guy.
Absolutely. If you don't want to play hard, I'm not your guy.
Yep. Awesome. Thank you, Coach.
Hey, I appreciate you. Thanks for the opportunity, buddy.